Hello and welcome. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce a Lokwani community hero, Raksha Soni. It is such a pleasure to have her today as part of our interview series. My name is Ranjani Saigal, and today we will talk to Raksha Soni, who actually, after having worked as a software engineer for over 20 years, started an epic second act as an artist. She is the founder of Brush and Paisley, through which she showcases her beautiful artwork and offers art workshops and classes for a range of students. Raksha's art is her life's mission, and her rigor and drive for it come from her commitment to creativity, community, and compassion. She is a key member of many charitable and cultural Indian organizations. Recently, she started Meals to Heal to help provide food for those with health or other challenges during these very difficult COVID times. Raksha ji, welcome to Lokwadi.
Thank you so much, Ranjini. Beautiful introduction, and I'm so humbled and grateful to be part of this wonderful team and cause.
Oh, thank you so much. And I was going to say, Raksha, this is really a pleasure because you're also my very, very dear friend. I think this is what every one of your friends is going to say, that if they have Raksha Soni as a friend, they are quite blessed. So quite an honor today, really, really, to talk to you. But I would love to start to think about your art journey though. So tell me more. How did it happen that you decided to leave your software engineering profession and jump into this venture as an artist?
Okay, so after working for Oracle, like I worked in software industry for 18 years. And after that, at some point, I realized that it's important to follow your passion and the things you always wanted to do. So I have a degree in art. So I learned, I had formal training in art and I learned art. And I have been always following, but I was not getting that much time to do artwork. So when life gave me that time to think, and I started following my passion as an artist, and it built up slowly after that. So initially I was not planning to have classes, but I wanted to do art. So I started my journey as an artist by exhibiting my paintings, creating more artwork, and like getting more like people involved in the art by looking at that, or like creating some of artwork with me. I ran some workshops for that, but some people requested to do art classes. And then I thought about that. I was not sure at that point whether I can teach art, but I wanted to try. So I was open to the concept, and then I started taking art classes. I enjoyed, so that's how it started.
So it looks like everything was very organic for you. It was not a planned adventure, but you said, here is my passion and I'm going to follow my heart. And so
That's,
it's, yeah, is that?
yeah, that's absolutely right. And that's how I am. Like most of my things are like that. I never plan. I don't know what I'm going to do after 6 months, but I'll just like take whatever is coming and life is giving me.
That's because you're just an incredibly talented person. Now that I'm thinking about it, you had a degree in art and you went and became a software engineer. I'm sure that took a little bit of a jump over there to make that training happen. So your undergraduate degree was in art, is that right? That's where you learned formally. And what styles did you learn of art and where did you learn it?
Okay, so I studied at Vanasli Vidyapeeth. This is very renowned college for girls, and it's very big in art. They have like all different subjects, but I studied art there. So I went to Vanasli Vidyapeeth in a boarding school when I was in 9th grade. And before that, I was doing artwork, but it was just like doing artwork at class. And just like all other kids, they enjoy doing art. And I was having a lot of appreciation from the family. My parents supported whatever I wanted to do. So when I went to the college school in Banasli Vidyapeeth, the initial idea is to do like in India, how it is like you do, okay, you want to do become a doctor and you study that, right? So
Mhm.
I went with that intention, and within a week I decided, after looking at a lot of paintings and artists there, I decided that I'm going to do art. I
Yeah.
told my parents, and it was so nice of them. Like they, it was their dream that I will become a doctor, but they just respected my thoughts and my change, like the way I wanted to change things, and they let me do this thing, and I'm very grateful for that. And I pursue art, and that was that's where my journey started of learning art. And there were so many like world-class artists there who were teaching art, so I got the opportunity to get training from them, different art forms. So I started with like sketching, shading, portraits, figures, and all different type, like collage, modern art, like abstract art,
Wow.
all different kind of things. Yeah.
Wow, that's just fantastic, fantastic. And of course, now I know that your parents won't be disappointed because you are a doctor as well. You do pranic healing and you do other kind of alternate healings. I mean, it's not allopathy, but you certainly are, healing through the process of spirituality and other techniques. So I think your parents should be okay with that, and maybe we'll
No,
talk about
definitely.
that as well. And but I wanted to ask you, so when you were pursuing your career and you were in a career for a very long time, how did you keep up with your artistic endeavors, or did you just give it up for some time?
So I never given up, but it was not like on regular basis. So now I do art every day. It was different at that time. It was like some phases, like when I will be doing art for like some days, and after that there will be a big gap. So it was more like, and I was not creating like lot of artwork for exhibition or sharing with other people. So I was doing whatever was needed at home, or if I want to give art as a gift to someone, it was limited to that. So definitely I was not getting much time at that time, so it was at the back seat, and there were other priorities at that time. So
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing that to keep it up, all these years. But I think, like you said, it's your passion. And so I think you could never, ever give it up. And so you probably were constantly thinking about it and just keeping it. And obviously, so when you came back into this, as a full-time career, was it a challenge? What were the opportunities and challenges that you faced?
so in terms of challenges, because I had time and I started doing artwork, so, and I never stopped doing that in between. So it was not that I was holding a brush after a long time. So like going back to art was not a challenge. Opportunities, I think I was just like whenever the right opportunity came, because I didn't know how I will be pursuing this thing when I started this thing. And a lot of things got clear when I was moving and doing things, and how the opportunities were coming at that time. So a lot of the decisions will taken at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, in retrospect, do you think you could have actually been an artist all along? Because there is a career in it, right? There is a career in teaching. There is a career in being an artist. Do you think that people can pursue it as a career instead of moving to software engineering if they don't need to?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Art is not just like, okay, you just like do artwork on a paper. There are so many different things you can do with art. You can do graphic designing, like, and also art is helpful when you are doing certain things, even in corporate life. Uh, when you are doing certain things, if you have creativity, I think it will give you that vision to look at the things differently, and you can also present your things differently.
That's a beautiful thing you're saying, because I think in today's world, a lot of the articulation of the ideas is not just through words or through speeches, it is definitely visual. And to create that, good PowerPoint or whatever else it is, and now it's video and it's other ways of expressing yourself. So having an artistic background and the ability to do that, and I think it spurs the creativity even at work. Did you feel that you were probably more creative than others because your left brain came in, to, I don't know, did you feel that?
No, I never compared with others. I think
Yeah.
there were a lot of people like who did not pursue art, but they were very creative. But I think it was definitely helping.
Great, great. That you can visualize something, right? You can
Exactly.
see before. I mean, I think that's a product in the making, right? Before you see it, you should be able to conceptualize it. So, no, that's
That's
great.
right.
That's fantastic. And I know that you love teaching. I think your grandchildren are also your students. Am I right? So you have
Yeah.
and you're an amazing grandmother too. So, but what do you enjoy about teaching, and what is the secret to being a good teacher?
Okay, so for yes, I do enjoy teaching art. So like working with kids is you need a lot of patience. That's the key thing. So if you have patience, if you can listen to their thoughts, how they can express things, then I think you can become a good teacher. And I am enjoying because I most of my students are similar age as my grandkids, so they
Oh,
are like say so I feel like, okay, this is my extended family. I'm teaching everyone, and I enjoy that really.
that's fantastic. Fantastic. You're a great, wonderful grandmother. And of course, now you know how to deal with children of those age because they are, with you, you understand them better. So that's really fantastic, I think. And it's really a wonderful opportunity. And I think what I heard from you is having all these Zoom and online classes because of the new reality has been actually a very good experience for you. Am I right?
Yeah, for me it's better than before, because before that people used to come to my place to learn art, and I was doing only like once or twice a week. So there were a lot of limitations for them to drive, because kids do a lot of activities and art is one of that. So now it's not there anymore, because you have more time in hand, and also you don't have to travel somewhere, you can learn on Zoom. And art, I think it's working much better than before. One of the reason I feel is when you have multiple kids, and I was open to do multiple things in one class. So if 5 kids want to do 5 different things, I
Uh,
was open to that idea. But now it's little bit limiting. So we do one thing at a time, all the kids do the same thing, and I do with them. So it opens, I think, a lot of new things for you if you look at someone who's doing the same thing and how you give instructions, because there are certain ways of looking at the thing. So I say, okay, just like make this peacock, it will go like that. Or I will tell them, okay, this is S curve, you make like that and you go from here to here. This is an oval here, you will be joining. I think that helps them to understand things. And I'm seeing tremendous result, like in 3 months, like kids went from here to here.
wow.
So I think it was very effective.
That's really interesting. That that's what is happening. I'm very impressed with that, and I wanted to also bring up another side of you, which I know very well, that you have a very deeply spiritual side to yourself, and I know your paintings also get influenced a lot by that. I have seen your collection of Ganesha, of Durga Mata, and others, and also you pursue chronic healing and other things in your life. First of all, I'd like to know, how does your spirituality impact your art, and how do you manage to do so many things at the same time?
Oh, thank you, Ranjini. You asking this question is means a lot, because you do a lot of things, so you know how it is. So when you have passion, I think you get the energy to do all
Mhm.
different things.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is definitely an impact of my spiritual practices and spirituality in my artwork. And though I do all different kind of art, from animals, birds to like landscapes, but somehow, like after some time, I come back to some making some gods and doing those things. I really enjoy that. And maybe Ganesha is the god of intellectual things, so maybe I need more blessings from him.
He's
So
already
initially
blessed you.
I think we need more blessings. And it happened like I made one series of Ganesha musical series. And when I went to Ireland, because I saw one picture on Google, I started with that. I made one painting, and then Amrit and I went to Ireland, and there is a garden called Victor's Palace, uh, Victor's Place. And we went there and we found the same statue there. And then there were many more. So I created one big series of Ganesha playing different instruments.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of followers of Ganesha, and it gives me peace, like when I'm doing that kind of thing with all other art forms.
That's really beautiful. I've seen your work, and I think it's certainly reflects your inner spirituality when I see those pieces of work. I know you've done a lot of exhibitions as well. Is there a particular exhibition that you particularly enjoyed, and do you want to describe that journey for us?
Okay, so I think I enjoy all my exhibitions, but my first exhibition when I was in college, one of my painting, it was a collage and abstract art. Uh, it was about uplifting. So I just created two hands, like one person is giving hand to other person and uplifting that person. And that painting was selected for international exhibition in Moscow. So, and that
Wow.
was, I think, one of the happiest moment for me when I didn't go to that exhibition, but I felt very proud about that. There was like big article in Indian newspaper about that. So that was very big achievement, and it was the first one. So very, very exciting thing for
Actually,
me.
I think it's very symbolic, or epitomizes who you are, because I know that you are always uplifting people. So I think that's probably why God said this picture needs to go. And probably, do you think that an art piece that is very reflective of who you are, especially in the realm of abstract art, goes further? Do you think that there is an impact of that?
No, no, definitely impact of that, because what we present in art, especially abstract art, I think it is reflection of our thoughts and what kind of emotions you have, or it does have a big impact of who you are, because you pick themes based on that. Your liking is also like who you are, right? So
Fantastic.
definitely a big impact of that.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And speaking of upliftment, I know that you have been involved in many different organizations, and one of them is ACL, where, of course, right now you're an Indie Art Ambassador, but your family and you have been very integral part of ACL Vidyalaya. Your husband, actually, Amrit Soni, was the president of the New England chapter. You are strong supporters. Your family is a strong supporter. And I know you ran the Indie Art competition 2 years ago. What draws you to ACL, and what draws you now to become an Indie Art Ambassador?
So ACL, like when we first learned about ACL, and it was all about education, giving back to our country, then we thought like, I think nothing could be better than giving back the gift of education to the kids. I think if you are giving gift of food, that's great. I think you are just like fulfilling the requirement for that moment. But if you are supporting someone's education, you are training that person for his or her entire life, right? And you are changing so many lives. And while working in ACL, I realized that people really believe in the cause, and they put their heart and soul in this cause, and doing so much for the country. So I'm surrounded by so many wonderful people like you, Ranjini, and so many others, Ram Nehra ji, and like it is very inspirational, like how you are doing things for India and uplifting India one village at a time.
Thank you. Thank you. And then now you're putting all your time, despite your numerous commitments, to become an Indie Art Ambassador. So could you tell us about what it means to be an Indie Art Ambassador? And I think you're going to offer a workshop. So could you tell us about what that workshop might be?
So India Art is very close to my heart, because Jharna Madan started this initiative when we were involved in ACL, and ran so many successful workshops. So it has always been close to my heart. And I think this is one medium where like kids living here, they can connect to the kids in India. And it's so important that you learn like how fortunate you are, and you should be grateful that you are in the condition of giving back. So I think India teaches like little kids to have this feeling and how they can give back to the country, and they are connecting. They will learn more about India, what challenges we have, and how's the culture of India. So I think this is giving the opportunity of learning and also supporting India at the same time. And nothing could be better. I think this is like, we do a lot of theory things, but this is like one of the practical. So I always want to get involved in this great cause, and I will do whatever I can do. I will support this cause.
God bless, God bless. And I did want to mention to those who may not know about ACL, we are an organization that runs single teacher schools in over 100,000 rural remote villages at the low cost of $1 a day. We are reaching 2.8 million children. And this particular initiative actually is going to bring digital literacy to our children, which in the COVID times, we know how important that is for all of us. So would you tell us a little bit about the workshop that you are going to be offering for IndieArt?
Okay. Yes, I'm very excited. So I talked to Jharna yesterday, and after going a little bit back and forth, I decided to do a Rajasthani woman.
Whoa!
So I'm from Rajasthan. I created a simple version of Rajasthani woman, and I hope all of you will be loving that drawing and also learn something about the culture of Rajasthan. So expect like very minimum requirement. You come with the right attitude to learn art and also get challenged. It won't be that hard. I will be giving step-by-step instructions to do the drawing, and we will be finishing that on time. So it will be a fun project, and I think you will be learning something about India.
Fantastic. And Rajasthani women, that means we are talking about the village women of Rajasthan. And so they would know what our ACL teachers and ACL women in the villages look like, perhaps. Maybe you can have one with a tablet in their hand, so that now that we know ACL is bringing digital literacy, so we have our beautiful women with a black and white tablet. But
you have great ideas, Ranjini. So I will do that in class. In workshop.
Wonderful, wonderful. So they will be able to create a piece that they perhaps can even submit for the competition. Am I right?
Definitely. Because this is about rural India. So they can definitely submit that piece.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. I know that talking to you, we can talk forever, Raksha, because there's so much to you that is hard to bring out in a short interview. So we need several interviews before we can really understand the true Raksha story. But for those of us who know you well, we know that you're a treasure. And that's why at Lokwani, we were honored to give you the Lokwani Community Hero Award. And certainly New England has been blessed with all your efforts, and ACL has been blessed with all your efforts. So thank you so much, Rakshaji. And do you have a piece of advice for our young artists who might consider even a career in it or not, but how do you pursue art? What advice would you give them?
So only advice like, don't hesitate to put your thoughts on the paper. So when you are making art, don't have any fears inside you, like whatever you want to do, or don't think that your art is bad or not coming out good. Like whatever you are thinking, put that on a piece of paper. Okay, so presenting your thoughts in artistic way is the best thing. And even whether you are following the artistic career or not, but it will help you in lot of different careers you are following.
Beautiful. So I'm thinking IndieArt is a good way for us to even help children here, children, adults, anybody who wants to use this very special moment to express their creativity. So I think that's a fun thing while doing good for India. So thank you so much, Rakshaji, for giving us your time today. And I look forward to your workshop pretty soon. Maybe I can also paint at that. Who knows? God bless.
So thank you so much for the opportunity. And I'll be happy to see your painting, your first painting. Looking forward to that.
God bless you. Thank you, Raksha.
Okay, thank you.
So much.